right, folks, welcome back to the channel. Glad you're here. Glad you're still alive. Appreciate you stopping back. If this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. And if you've been here for the first couple of videos, appreciate you stopping by once again. If you have not yet subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button down there in the bottom corner. That would make a huge difference to me as I'm trying to grow this channel. Really appreciate all the support thus far. Wanted to kind of jump in here, something that we haven't talked about a ton yet. I know I mentioned last week on the video from Friday. I know I mentioned that I don't watch a ton of TV other than like live sports. But I wanted to touch on a couple of things here in this video today about a couple of shows that I have been watching. One of them being Better Call Saul, which I love. Anybody who's in the Breaking Bad or in the Breaking Bad universe, you remember Saul from Breaking Bad. He was Walter White's lawyer. He's had his own spin-off show here these last 6 or 7 years, which actually just on Monday was the final episode of Better Call Saul. The show season 7 just ended, wrapped up the story. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that without giving any spoilers away. I promise I'll try to be as vague as I can. And then also another show that I love, every year I love to watch on HBO, they do the Hard Knocks training camp with a different NFL team. This year they happen to do the Detroit Lions, who, not a team that I have any connection to, not a fan of, but I love watching it every year, no matter who the team is, because it's a great way. It's like it's about football, right? But it's about the players on the team. It's about the personalities and their stories and their struggles and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. I like getting to know the coaches as well. So I want to talk a little bit about both of those shows. And then to close out the video this week, I'm actually going to do a music reaction. I mentioned in my first video, my introduction to the channel, that Iron Maiden is my favorite band of all time. My favorite member of Iron Maiden is Adrian Smith, the one guitarist who's one of the primary songwriters, along with Steve Harris, the bassist. And Adrian Smith actually has his own like a side project called Smith Kotzen with another musician and guitarist named Richie Kotzen, who they put out an album last year that I really liked, and they've put out a couple new songs here recently that I have not heard yet. So I'm gonna shift over here onto my couch so you can see my TV. I tried to figure out a way to do reaction videos with like the picture-in-picture. I downloaded some software on my computer, tried to do it. My computer, I guess, doesn't have the horsepower to handle it, though, because every time I tried to do it, it froze and crashed. So I'm just going to kind of do I'm going to rig up a version where I'm going to sit in front of my TV, put it on the TV. I don't know a better way to do it. If any of you guys out there have a better suggestion for me, please let me know. I'm open to ideas. So that's how we'll close out the video here today. But so first, let's talk about let's talk TV a little bit. Better Call Saul. So as I mentioned, Better Call Saul was is a spin-off of Breaking Bad. If anyone who hasn't ever seen Breaking Bad, I highly recommend that. That's also one of my favorite shows of all time, where Walter White, chemistry teacher turned meth dealer. It's a little bit dark. But in this show, Saul Goodman is Walter White's criminal lawyer, helps him launder money, helps him get out of jams, all that good stuff. And he was such a popular character that when Breaking Bad ended, they spun him off and gave him his own show, Better Call Saul. Bob Odenkirk does a phenomenal job. I mean, everyone in the series is incredible. I mean, Bob Odenkirk does great. Rhea Seehorn's great as Kim Wexler, who is Saul Goodman's kind of like love interest, partner in crime. But anyway, so the show just ended on Monday night, was the last episode, and I've seen a surprising amount of people that I've talked to, and I've seen some articles online, that while they liked the show, they kind of always give the caveat of like, it's good, but it's not Breaking Bad. And I think that that's a little bit of I feel like that's not the right way to look at it. Like, it's a different show than Breaking Bad. It's a very different show. Whereas Breaking Bad was very fast moving, and it was kind of driven by Walter White and his continued diving into the depths of becoming a drug kingpin. Better Call Saul is similar in the sense that it shows you how Saul transforms from trying to walk the straight and narrow of becoming a lawyer towards kind of moving back towards his tendencies as where he started out as a grifter. But it's a much slower moving show, which even for someone like myself who loves it, I can understand how that would be a little bit of a turnoff to some people. If you're looking for a show where it's action all the time and every episode is packed with, violence and shootouts and stuff, this is not the show for you. But I really appreciate, similar to the way that I appreciate a really well-written, well-constructed song or album, I really appreciate the writing in Better Call Saul, where a lot of the storylines take a lot longer to develop, but it's all about the little details. There's so many details in Better Call Saul of things that will call back something that happened in Breaking Bad. And so I really, really appreciate Vince Gilligan and the writing team, all the tie-ins that they had and how they were able to, bring the two universes together. Even here in this last season, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman made a couple of appearances, which was really cool to see as someone who loved Breaking Bad. So I know I'm being kind of vague here because I don't want to give away anything as how the show ended. If you're interested, if you liked Breaking Bad, I would highly recommend Better Call Saul, but I would also say that you got to appreciate Better Call Saul for what it is. If you're going into Better Call Saul looking for another Breaking Bad, you're going to be disappointed. Better Call Saul is more of like a slow burn, more of a long game, right? So that would be my caution to anyone that hasn't watched it, that's looking to get into it. If you're looking for something new to watch, it is an investment. There's seven seasons of episodes that are an hour long, and again, they kind of play the long game with some of these storylines. So there are some moments, some episodes that you have to get through to get to the good stuff. But regardless, that show 9 out of 10 from me. Really, really liked how it ended. I'd be curious. Anybody who did watch the show, please comment below. Let me know what your thoughts were. And I'm curious to hear what other people thought, because I feel like the reaction has been mixed between a lot of my friends and family who I know that watch the show. The other show I've been watching recently, I mentioned, is Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions. If you don't follow the NFL, you might not have heard of Hard Knocks. But even if you don't like the NFL or don't like football in general, I still think Hard Knocks provides some really solid entertainment value. You get to learn about the players and their stories, and it's more about the people side of football. There's obviously competitive aspects of it, and they follow them into the preseason games and stuff like that. However, I really truly believe you don't need to love football or even sports in general to be able to appreciate the show. The Detroit Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, you can look him up. If you never heard of him, he's a guy that he comes off as a little bit almost, at least in my opinion, I always felt like he came off a little bit corny. But after watching this show and watching how he connects with the players through 2 weeks of watching the show, I really respect him. And I think something that I've taken away from the first 2 episodes of the show and watching him is that being genuine is so important. Being genuine is so important because a lot of what he does in that show, he's doing a lot to try and motivate the team, right? And try and get them to perform to the highest of their abilities, to get the best out of the team. And some of the things that he does could definitely come off as fake. Talking to a room full of 20 to 30-year-old men trying to motivate them, it can be a fickle thing. But the reason why it doesn't come off as fake whenever he does it, at least in my opinion, is because he is so genuine. Like, he is himself at all times. And I think there's a big lesson to be taken from that, which is if you're going to be genuine, you're going to get a genuine reaction from the people that you interact with, right? If you're showing yourself to be who you truly are, people respect that. People can see that. If you're trying to be somebody who you're not, if you're trying to, if you're doing something that you don't really believe in, it comes off as fake, and I think people can see that. And I think you can watch in this show as him being a leader of men. His approach really, really resonates with the team because he is genuine. And if he wasn't genuine, it wouldn't work as well. It probably wouldn't work at all. And so I think that's a big thing for me that I've taken away from that show. As you watch people who are leaders, watching how they interact with people, I'm always curious to see how they do that and how the people that they're leading respond to their leadership. And he is a great example of being genuine in his motives and being transparent with who he is and what his motivations are and what he expects from the people that he's leading. And I think that clear communication comes into it as well. So again, I know I'm being a little bit general with everything I'm saying right now, but I just think these are things that I think about, and relating them back to mental health and being your true self. I think that's kind of what I take from Dan Campbell, is being genuine at all times. So anyone that's, even if you're not a football fan, like I said, I would definitely recommend watching Hard Knocks. There's a lot you can gain from it. It's a very entertaining show too, even, removing the football from it. It's a pretty cool look into a day in the life of an NFL player and an NFL team during training camp. All right, so for the second half of this video, I'm going to shift over here to the TV. So you can see this video that I'm going to be reacting to. So give me 1 second. We're going to do a little transition here. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so as I mentioned, I'm going to close out the video here today with a reaction. I promise. I rigged this setup up because I couldn't figure out how to do the screen capture on my computer without my computer crashing. So this is a temporary solution. I'm going to try and figure out a better way to do this. But so anyway, this song here, as you can see, this is by Smith Kotzen. This is a song called Hate and Love. So again, Adrian Smith, one of the guitarists from Iron Maiden, this is a side project of his that he formed with Richie Kotzen. I had never heard of Richie Kotzen before this partnership arose. Looking him up, though, he's been pretty active in the rock and roll community since the 90s. He was actually a member of Poison from 1991 to 1993. And I'm sure everybody knows Poison. Every Rose Has Its Thorn, Bret Michael, the lead singer, all that good stuff. So anyway, I had never heard of him before, but their first album came out last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. This is a newer song off of their Hate and Love EP, which came out a couple months ago. This is a video of the live performance that they're doing here. So I haven't heard this song, I haven't seen this video, so I'm looking forward to this, and we'll see how it sounds.
The song's called Hate and Love.
Love that bass tone. Okay, so that's Adrian Smith right there in the top hat. In the key of E, I believe. If you notice already, it doesn't sound anything like Iron Maiden. Let me pause just real quick here. The transition there, one thing that's I really liked about their first album is that they both sing and they both play lead guitar. Their voices are very, very similar, though. I really like Adrian Smith's voice to the point where hearing him sing makes me wish he would sing in Iron Maiden sometimes, even though I love Bruce Dickinson, one of the best metal vocalists of all time. But him and Richie Kotzen, they both share this kind of like raspy tone in their voice to the point where you heard Adrian Smith sing the first 4 lines of vocals, and now Richie Kotzen's singing. You can't tell a ton of difference. So I'm going to rewind this here a couple seconds and start over again. Sorry, I'm going to try and pause this as few times as I can. I love this intro. And I love both of their voices. little harmonization, both of them singing together in the chorus. Very cool. Yeah, we're definitely in the key of E here. Maybe a little solo here coming up. One of the reasons I love Adrian Smith, and he's one of my favorite guitarists, is because even though he can, as a guitarist, even though he can play leads at 1,000,000 miles a minute and melt your face off, as you just saw there, he doesn't always do that. That was a short little lead line that fit perfectly within the song there, sounded really good, not overly complicated. More notes are not always better.
Here we go again, blindsided by love, misdemeanor I felt need, turn your friend to me.
I like the structure of this song a lot. He hits those high notes well. I'm going to guess there's going to be a longer, more extended guitar solo here coming after the second chorus. I love the close-up shots. You can see the fingers when they're playing solos. Richie can play. Oh, I love a little back and forth. Great solo sections. Adrian to Richie, back to Adrian. Well done. That's tough to do that live sometimes. Man, they play off each other so well, both as guitarists and as vocalists. I love that little riff, those chords there. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. He has an interesting style to his leads, very kind of legato. That's a very unique. Wow, that was really impressive. It's a very unique sound Richie Kotzen has in his lead playing. Now just rocking out. Wow. Wow. I expected to watch that video and see Adrian Smith doing most of the heavy lifting. But man, Richie Kotzen, I'm very, very impressed with him as a lead guitarist. that last solo he put there, you know, in that outro, like I said, very unique sound, very interesting sound. I really, really liked that. So this song's on an EP. I think there's like 4 other songs on the EP. It came out a couple months ago. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this EP because that was a really, really good song. It's hard for me to be too critical of anything that Adrian Smith does because he's one of my favorite musicians. However, I love the fact, one of the reasons I like him so much, and this project is a great embodiment of this, is that that if you listen to that song and some of the songs on their first album, and then you go and listen to some of the Iron Maiden songs that Adrian Smith has written, they sound nothing alike. They sound nothing alike. And so there's a variety to his sound. And him and Richie Kotzen, they complement each other so well there. The vocal styles are very similar. They play off each other well as lead guitarists. That one solo section there in the middle where Adrian Smith started and then it went to Richie Kotzen and then back to Adrian Smith. I love that. So really good stuff. I'm going to have to go give this Hate and Love EP a listen. So that'll wrap it up for me here today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like that song, or if there's anything similar to that, anything you want me to review, anything you like that you've been listening to recently, drop a comment below, let me know. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please like the video, subscribe. That'd be a huge help for me as I'm trying to grow this channel. Appreciate you all as always. Go be genuine today. Have a great day. Be your best self, and we'll talk to you next time.